Hi guys, here we are, we're back again, and I'll just show you what I've been working on. I've just been doing these two. This one, see the armature, let's try and get that in focus for you. The spine neck came out a little bit better on him. Kind of need to put a bend just after the hips, and then go back in on itself and then loop round for the neck. And here's the other guy. He's got a nice lean to him. See on that picture he's sort of leaning to the left. So again, he's got a bit of a bend there on his spine, sort of bending out towards his stomach and then back round and out for his neck. So I'm just going to show you how I attach that to the cork. What I do first is bend the wire so the ends are about the same width apart as the feet. Probably got a little bit too much wire on here, so I'll just trim a little bit off. Right. So yeah, if you just bend it slightly so you've got the same sort of width as the feet, then that'll give you a good guide as to where you need to put it into the cork. So it's about that. So I'll start by putting one piece of wire in to begin with. Down at the base of the wire, I'm just going to thread that through the cork. Now if you do just lean it slightly to one angle and push it slightly into one angle when you're pushing it in, being careful not to punch yourself as it comes through the cork. I've just sort of missed the side there. It's best to sort of try and get it to come out the side, but it doesn't really matter so much. See, that bit's already poking through, so what I'll do now, so enable me to poke the rest of the cork through, is that I'll just trim off the end of the other side and then push that through, sort of, and the other one as you're doing it, so it doesn't bend too much. So you can see it just coming through the side there. Right, so then I'm just threading it through, just gently gripping both sides of the wire. And then just pushing that down. Alright, with the wire bits that are coming out, I mean, it's best to sort of, you might need to bend it back because it's deformed a little bit. So on this guy, he's sort of got a more of a lean to the sort of right side. So just going to make sure I've got that correct, and his leg needs to be facing a little bit more to that side. I just lost the shape a little bit in the spine. Just pinch that. He's got quite a long neck, which I'm a little bit concerned about, but what we can do for that is just loop that round like that. It's sort of like just put a loop at the top of his head, just curl that round a little bit and then flatten it down, and his head can go on that bit if I can do it. Probably need slightly smaller ends on the pliers. I have in the past actually grinded that down so you end up with very fine points to the pliers, and you're able to create smaller loops that way. It makes your life easier, but they tend to bend as well because they're not as strong. So I'm just trying to get the length of the neck off a little bit. I mean, it is important to get your armature as good as you can. You know, I'm still not a master at it, and it does take a lot of practice. As you can see, I've sort of lost the shape there a bit, but I can just bend that back a bit and get it back again. Not a problem. So you can see I've sort of put a bit for his head to go on now. I'm just trying to curl that round and squash that down. A bit tricky to do because the wire is quite strong. There we go. It's just deformed a little bit, so I have to get that back again. And when you're filming and you're under pressure, it doesn't always work out, but we'll crack on. Right. Right. That's just about right. I'm quite happy with that. Probably needs a little bit more refining. So what I'm going to do is just finish that off. Then I'll grab some green stuff and we'll put the first layer on, bulk it out. Just try and so you can see. It's hard to get the angle right for you guys. There you go. So you can see I've sort of bent that round because it had a little bit of excess there. The other guys they've actually, the scale is really nice on them. I was going for sort of 32mm, and they're just about the right size. You know, there's 30 to the neck, so once you've had the head on there will be about 32. So yeah, next what I'll do is what you need to do is just get these bits off, because you don't want them protruding out when you're working, because they might stab you. So just bend them round. That foot needs to be a little bit more. Oh, so the thing is, when you bend the wire in a certain position, it bends the other pieces of the wire, so you have to then compensate and bend those back. But it is a little bit tricky. But you know, like with everything, once you get practice, when you have enough practice, it becomes more you know, quicker to do. Right, so I'm just going to bend that one around there like that, and what I'll do, just cut off that long bit, and on this side as well. Ooh. And then I'm just going to push that into the actual cork on that side as well, and then just by hand I was just trying to get the angle right. Yep. Okay, so we'll move on to the next stage next.